Here we are, Team Akwaaba Yoga. Sorry about that. Afternoon. And yeah, welcome to Akwaaba Yoga. Today's Sunday, the 4th of June. A little later than intended today. Just come back from a cycle ride, enjoying the sun that seems to have finally arrived in London. Hope everyone's keeping well. Greetings to B and to D-Man. Yeah, hope you've all had a good week. Watch us on playback. Hope life is treating you well. But yeah, let's get cracking. It's a 25-minute session. Going to go through a nice yoga flow to move the body and to connect with the breath. And yeah, let's get cracking. We're going to start in child's pose. So knees apart, feet together. Let's bring our chest down towards the mat. Our arms along across the floor, the front of the body. So it's June already. Time is seemingly flying by. If you've been able to keep your body moving. Obviously, there's loads of these videos still up on YouTube, so feel free to tune in and have a sesh whenever suits. So start to bring the torso down. Let's bring our chest in between the knees, the forehead towards the floor. It may or may not touch. There's no right position for the head to be here. You have to force your forehead towards the floor. Just let your head hang heavy. Just become aware of your natural breath here, your inhales and your exhales. Let's become straight into our Ujjayi breath. We're sort of taking the breath in through the nose. Down for the throat and exhale out. Bring the breath through the throat, out through the nose to create that whisper-like sound in the room. It's that oceanic breath that we're going for. Deep inhale in and exhale out. Just bring the restriction to the back of the throat as you're exhaling out. Challenging the breath with consciousness. So we're really aware of our breath here. Deepening in, breathing all the way to the belly. Perhaps the belly's pressing against the thighs. As you take the breath in and exhale out, feel your lungs, your belly drawn away from your thighs. Just keep it going at your own pace for another 3 rounds. On the next inhale, let's press up into our tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Our feet are hip distance apart. We're going to come into our cat and cow. So we're undulating through the back, taking the gaze up towards the front, diagonal, and on the exhale, rounding the upper back. Press the hands into the mat, so gaze to the navel. Deep inhale in to draw the shoulders together, tailbone goes high, and exhale. Just enjoy feeling into the movement here as we're finding space in the shoulder blades, finding movement in the back. Just coming to a freestyle now, so maybe keeping the hands where they are, just feel free to find movement through the hips, through the neck. Maybe take the bum back down towards the heels. Or press the hips towards the floor. So take the upward dog position, rolling the shoulders back. Just come into total freedom here. Finding the tightness in the body. Feeling our way into that tightness. Another 2 breaths. Another 1. Let's come into stillness. Back to our tabletop. We're going to place our right hand in the center of the mat. Let's usher that left leg back. So we're high in the left toe, drop down to that left heel. I'm going to come into a side plank here. The right shin is long against the floor. Let's start to lift up through that left arm towards the ceiling. Take the gaze up towards the left hand. Open up through the chest towards the left side of the body. And if you keep that left hand up towards the ceiling, or maybe see if you can wrap it around your lower back, perhaps taking the inside of the right thigh. Any position here for number 2. Another 1. And so that left hand back down to the floor. Come back into our tabletop and get ready for the other side. So this time we're taking the left hand, placing it towards the center of the mat, stretching out with the right leg, coming high on the right toes, pressing the right heel towards the back of the room. Maybe just feeling into the calf muscles here before we drop down onto that right heel. We start to lift up through that right arm and open the chest out towards the right side of the room. Really yawn the body open. So if you're waking up in the morning, a nice stretch. And take the gaze up towards the right hand, or let the head hang loose. Taking the gaze down towards the left hand. If it's there for you, feel free to wrap that right hand around the lower back, taking hold of the left thigh. And place the right hand on the right hip. Number 2. Number 1. Let's come back into our tabletop. From here, start to bring the chest down towards the floor. We're going to take our gaze over towards the left side of the room. So bringing the right cheek towards the floor. Let's take our arms so they're flat on the floor. The palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Let's come to a gentle stretch here through the neck. Barely pressing into the floor, you're taking deep breaths in. If you've lost your ujjayi, just come back into that ujjayi breath. So try to bring awareness and focus our breath through this session. Let's switch and take the opposite side. So let's take the gaze over towards the right side of the room, bringing the left cheek down this time. You can maintain that ujjayi breath. From here, let's spin the head forward. So we're resting the chin on the mat. Let's turn our hands. So this time our palms are facing the floor. The back of the feet still flat on the floor. We're going to start to draw the heels up towards center. So rather than the ankles folding out to the sides, let's draw the heels in towards one another. And on the next breath, let's start to lift up through that left leg. So along in that left leg, pointing the toes towards the back of the room. Engage through the left quad. And bring that left leg down. Again, rather than flopping the feet out, let's keep engaged by drawing the heels in towards one another. This time I'm going to take the right side. So on the next inhale, lifting up through the foot, the shin, perhaps the right knee and maybe the right thigh, pointing the toes towards the back of the room. Engage through that right leg for another 2. Another 1. Let's bring that right foot down. And the ankles flop out for 1 breath. On the next inhale, let's bring the heels back towards one another. Let's start to lift, maybe both feet up off the mat. So we're not bending into the knees here. Rather than bending into the knees and lifting the shins up, we're pressing our toes towards the back of the room. So maybe our legs are coming maybe 1 millimeter, maybe a centimeter, maybe an inch, maybe a couple of inches. Just lift them off the mat. Finally, strengthen the lower back here for number 2, number 1, and relax. Let's bring the feet back down towards the mat. Start to bring our arms forward. So bringing our forearms flat on the mat, palms are facing down, elbows are stacked underneath the shoulders. For this, if you're pulling your chest in through the arms, as we lift our chest up off the floor, let's take the gaze straight away towards the front of the room. Let's engage through the legs by drawing the heels together once again. And on the exhale, start to bring the chest back down, flex the head. For one breath, let's go again. On the inhale, start to draw the chest through the arms. The forearms are pressing into the mat, the palms are facing down. Drawing the shoulder blades together for number 2, number 1. Let's bring the head back down towards the floor, may or may not touch. Let's now take the hands underneath the shoulder blades. We can come back into the pose we were just in, or start to bring the elbows and tuck them into the sides of the ribs. We're going to press our hands into the floor this time. Start to peel the chest away for low cobra. If it's there, we're going to lengthen that through the arms. Again, rolling the shoulders back for our upward facing dog. And on the exhale, start to press the hands into the mat, lift the tailbone high, curl the toes under. We're going to come into our first downward facing dog. Just walk out through the legs here, finding a stretch through the back of the legs. Taking the gaze towards the back of the room, in between the feet, behind the fingertips. Let's bring our palms down towards the mat. We can keep a bend in the knees. That suits us today. We can lengthen that through the legs. We're energetically drawing the heels down, so we don't need to touch the floor. But the energy we're going with is drawing the heels down to find length in the legs. On the next breath, let's come high in the toes. Jump, step, or float. Let's all meet at the front of the mat in our forward fold. So here I'm going to keep a bend in the knees and just start to sway the body from left to right. The feet are hip distance apart. At the head, the arms be heavy here. Lovely. Let's come into a halfway lift here. So hands on the shins, lengthen that through the arms, roll the shoulders back. The chest so it's perhaps parallel with the floor, along in the neck, taking the gaze towards the front of the mat. Draw the belly in. Deep breath in and exhale to forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release. And again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release. Let's come up one vertebra at a time, keeping the head, the arms heavy. Excuse me. Let's come into a standing position. Let's roll the shoulders back as we reach the top. Keep the chin towards the chest. So you roll the shoulders back, we start to lift the chin off the chest. Face the palms forward as we meet in our Tadasana, our mountain pose. If our feet are hip distance apart, let's start to draw the heels towards the center. Feet are parallel. Let's bring our hands into prayer in the center of the chest. Let's close the breath, close the eyes for a couple of seconds as we become aware of our position, our surroundings, the mats underneath the soles of the feet. Maybe massage out the mat to the floor with your toes, with your heel. Start to feel grounded and strong through the body from the sole of the foot all the way up through the legs. Maybe engage with the quads. Maybe squeeze the glutes, the buttocks. Engage with the belly. Roll the shoulders back as we engage with the chest. Just lift the chest, lift the chin off the chest. Stand up nice and tall. And come into some sun salutations. On the inhale, we're going to float the prayer up towards the ceiling. Then we take the gaze up towards the hands. Exhale, bend from the hips as we come down, Uttanasana. Maybe take a bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins, roll, shoulders back. Exhale, soften to release. Inhale, bend into the knees as we float the arms up towards the ceiling, long through the body. Bring the hands into prayer at the top. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of the chest. Let's go again. Deep inhale in as we take the prayer high. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend it from the hips, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Engage with the core. Exhale, soften to release. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of the chest. Deep inhale in to bring the prayer high once again. Exhale, forward fold. So here we're finding that we're finding movement in tune to the body. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, relax. Inhale, let's float the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of our chest. Let's go again. Inhale, hands go high. Exhale to come into our bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften to release. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of our chest. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to go high. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of our chest. 2 more rounds. Inhale, high. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale to bend. Let's take the prayer high once again. For the penultimate time. Exhale, hands into prayer at the center of our chest. Last one coming up. Take the hands to pray up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in. Breathe beyond the fin. Take one nice and long through the body. Exhale, forward fold. As we bend it from the hips. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. On the next inhale, let's come up high onto the toes, lifting the heels up. Let's start to bend into the knees as we take our hands down towards the mat. Bend into the knees as we bring our bum down towards our heels. The hands from the front of the mat are going to start to walk down back towards the back of the mat. We're going long in our legs here. Stretching out through the legs. Let's give the legs a shake. Maybe take your hands into a fist and just gently tap the quads. Come to stillness and roll the shoulders back. Again, from here, becoming aware of our place in the mats, feeling the mat between underneath the heels, underneath the shins, underneath the back of the thighs, the hamstrings, the buttocks. Just become aware if we're slouching here. We are. Let's see if we can sit up a little bit taller. Roll the shoulders back. On the next breath, let's raise the arms, both arms to the either side of the ears. Long through the body here, and on the exhale, we're going to fold from the hips, bringing the arms towards the front diagonal, keeping the torso where it is. Let's bring our hands down towards the mat or towards the thighs, maybe the shins. So I'm going to try and find a stretch now through the back of the legs. Feel free, if it's there, to maybe place the hands underneath the hamstrings and just use the resistance to help draw the chest a bit further forward, rolling the shoulders back again. And we're energetically taking our forehead, our chest towards our shins, curling the toes towards the face here. Just find the right position for your hands. Maybe you can take your hands underneath your calves. If it's there for you to grab the underside of your feet. Again, there's no competition with ourselves here. Just finding that place where we can place our hands to add a bit of resistance. Roll the shoulders back and energetically just draw our chest forwards. So it's space we're looking for in the back of the legs, rather than aiming to bring the head down. Hence why we're drawing the chest forwards for another 2. That's one, another 1. Wherever you might be with the hands, start to release out as we start to sit up tall once again. I'm going to bring a bend into that right knee. So our right knee is now pointing up towards the ceiling. The right sole of the foot is flat on the mat. It's either going to sit inside of that left leg, maybe on the inside of the shin, maybe on the inside of the left knee, the left thigh. A fourth variation, we can lift that right foot up and over that left thigh. Wherever we might be, let's take the left hand, see if we can wrap it around the right shin or the right knee. With our right hand, placing it behind our bodies, behind our backs. So we're finding a stretch this time. By turning our chest towards the right side of the room. So we're twisting from the lower belly. If it's there for us to wrap the crease of our elbow in front of the right shin, then I invite you to take that. So different variations to play with here. Rather than ignoring that left foot, let's see if we can draw the toes, again, curl the left toes in towards the face. So there's a few bits going on here. So again, we'll sit up nice and tall, rather than collapsing through the body. For number 2, another 1. Wherever we might be, that right leg or the left hand, release the left hand down towards the floor. Just lengthen that through that right leg and it's coming to the opposite side. So this time we're taking a bend into that left knee. Left side of the foot is flat on the mat, either inside of the right shin, the right knee, or the right thigh, or bringing it up and over the right thigh. And this time we're taking the right hand just onto the outside of the left knee or the left shin. Place our left hand behind our bodies so it's flat on the floor. If that left hand isn't reaching, feel free to place it on a thick book or a block. Again, rather than collapsing, we're sitting up nice and tall through the torso, rolling the shoulders back, and just use the resistance of the right hand against the knee to come into the twist. Another 3. Another 2. Another 1. And release. Nice stretch into the lower back. If you've got a block or a book, place it to one side. Let's lengthen out through the legs one more time. Just give the legs a shake. So the feet are right towards the front of the mat, curling the toes in towards the face. Can roll the shoulders back so we sit up nice and tall. Let's take the palms up towards the ceiling. Maybe the arms are parallel to the floor. We'll play with our balance here and engage for the core. And slowly we start to bring our backs down towards the mat. Just keep engaging for the core for as long as you can. And then relax. So the back of the skull is on the floor here. The palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Let the feet flop out towards the side. And just give a gentle massage into the back of the skull. By taking our head from left to right. And I invite you to come into stillness to find our way into Shavasana. And close our eyes. Just remove any obstacles, say you have nothing to touch with the hands, the feet. So no gripping in the jaw, the shoulders. Just let the hands relax. Let's take one more deep inhale in together. In through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Whatever you might be holding on to, use this as an opportunity just to release it out through the mouth, release any tension, any stresses from the week. Let's go again, deep inhale in and sigh it out. Let's stay in Shavasana just for a few breaths here. Wherever you are, I invite you to stay in Shavasana if you want to extend that part of the practice, particularly if you're watching on playback or otherwise. Just start to draw the knees in towards the chest. Bring the head up towards the knees. Let's give ourselves one final hug in. If you're not able to grab the front of the shins, that's all good. There's no competition once again. Maybe place the hands at the back of the thighs. And on the next breath, let's all roll up together. I'm going to turn and face the front of the mat. I'm going to sit on the block. Just come cross-legged or maybe come flat onto their shins, onto their knees. Once again, let's roll the shoulders back, sit nice and tall. Let's take a deep inhale in through the nose, the eyes closed. And gently, softly release. Let's bring our hands into prayer. Thank you very much for turning up, for giving yourself an opportunity to practice for 25 minutes or so on the mat today. Again, if you're watching on playback, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again for your patience. Apologies for being a little bit late today. But yeah, it's good to be back on the mat with yourselves. And yeah, next up is July, first week of July. So it seems like we're racing through the year. So enjoy the moments, make each day count. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Thank you very much, guys. Nice one, D-Man. And B, wicked. I'll see you next month. Have a great week ahead. God bless. Take care.